Hi there, Chelsea here. Welcome to another painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can paint some clouds on a dark background. And I'm going to start with a dark blue color. This is just some folk art craft paint. It is called Blue Uniform. And any really dark blue that you can find should work. And start with a size 12 flat brush. And you just want to make a smooth background with this dark blue. So try to get close to the edges of the tape. And don't forget to tape down your work before you start. And you might want to add a little bit of water to the paper and to the paint so that you get some smooth edges and a smooth blend. And just kind of move your brush back and forth. If you want to use a larger brush, you could do that. This is, like I said, a size 12. If you want to speed up the process, you could use a larger brush. And just try to make the sky evenly dark. You don't want any lighter parts in this background because it'll look kind of like a horizon line if you make one part too light compared to the rest. And just try to cover up all the white parts of the paper. Make sure your edges are nice and clean. Okay, so finish all of that to the end and then let it dry completely, and then we'll move on to the next step. So now that your background has dried, the next step is to sketch in the clouds. So you could use white chalk. I have this white pastel that I'm going to use. And let's try to sketch in some cloud shapes. And I actually want to put maybe like a circular moon in one corner. Try to make that as round as possible. And then I'm going to come over here and just put in some wavy shapes for the clouds. I'm also thinking about my negative space and what kind of shape that's going to make. Maybe I'll put a cloud here into the background and then have this main one come over here, and then I'll put another one coming down at an angle. Okay, so that looks good. And put that aside, and then let's start putting in some of these cloud shapes. So the best brush that you could use would be like a filbert brush because it has that round edge. And you could use different sizes for that. Let's see, this is a size 6 filbert. Let me grab another one that's a larger. This one's a size 7. So we could try using different sizes. Let's start with the larger size 7. And then we're going to take a lighter value than the background. This is, again, it's that folk art acrylic paint. So it's just a few steps lighter on the value scale. In that same bluish gray color. I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and then I'm going to go around the edge where I sketched out the clouds, and I have quite a bit of paint on my brush. And then after I put in that initial edge, I'm going to rinse off my brush, dry it off a little bit so that it's damp, and then I'm just going to kind of move in this circular motion and bring some of that paint down and try to make that round circular cloud-like shape. Okay. And then I could do that same thing to this cloud up here. So just kind of roll that edge along. Quite a bit of paint. letting that circular tip do the work. And then with the damp brush, bring it down, keep circling, and just keep going all the way to the corner. Okay, and you can kind of see how those cloud shapes are starting to form. And I'm gonna let that one, I'm gonna switch to the next couple value steps down. This is an even lighter blue, same type of paint. And staying with this same brush, the size 7, and I'm gonna do that same thing. Just try to make a curved shape of the edges of the clouds. Rinse off the brush, get it damp, and then make a round circular motion and blend those cloud kind of shapes down. Okay. And again, don't make it too uniform. You can kind of make it a little bit random. And then let's take that same lighter blue and then pop in this layer of clouds. You do want your edges to be pretty clean, so you might have to go over them again if they're not. And then again, we take our damp brush, we're bringing it down. And I could overlap. It's okay if I overlap these other clouds here. Okay, and let's put in maybe the moon shape. So we'll just take a little bit of that blue, and for the moon we want one side to be darker and the other side to be lighter. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of this light blue and then try to put it on this left side just to show where the sun is hitting it. Okay, and I can leave that. I can come back later. Maybe I'll try to blend around it a little bit, and I can come back to it later. Okay, so that's looking good. At this point, you could let that dry before you move on to the next steps. And I'm just gonna keep going and let it dry as I go. And now you can move to a smaller size filbert. We could try the 6, and that smaller size is going to give us the illusion that we have smaller shaped clouds. And I'm going to go with this lighter blue shade, and I'm going to put it on top of this one. So you can try to make, again, just try to make these shapes, kind of round shapes, and then blend in. Do some overlap if you'd like. And you're just kind of building up different layers and smoothing everything along. Okay, so I might come up here with this lighter blue and just make another layer of the clouds here. And I think some of this paint underneath is kind of being picked up, which is okay. So maybe I didn't let it dry quite as long as I should have. And then we can take this light blue, and again, let's put in another layer right here. You might want to let it dry so you can see how dark or how light the clouds are showing up. Because with acrylics, when they dry, it's usually gives you a different color. Slightly different color, and it's kind of hard to predict how light or dark it's going to be. maybe do another piece here. Okay, so just kind of have fun with it and go around and do your different layers, but you probably don't want to do too much. I could, for the final steps, you can take a smaller filbert, maybe a size 2, and I'm going to take some white paint, just a white acrylic, and oops, take the edge of that filbert, and then I want to put in some highlights of the clouds and try to do this fairly randomly. You don't want to go along every part of the cloud and outline it. You want to put more of a strategic highlight just in certain places, and less is usually more. And then I could take, just kind of dampen that brush, and I can smooth those out a little bit. Just blend them in, make them look a little more natural. And then I could take some of that white and put it along the moon shape that we had here. Just put it off to the side. That is the highlight of the moon. And then kind of blend that in. Okay, so if you wanted to, at this point, you can go back. You could put in some stars if you wanted to, different galaxy shapes. You could add more highlights if you want. You could even take, like, this is a size 0 spotter. You could take that with some white paint, and you could kind of go along some of the clouds like this, kind of like with a squiggly line in different areas, and just kind of give the appearance of different smaller layers within the clouds. It could kind of give you a neat effect and just a little bit more layering and a little bit more interest, just as kind of final details, final highlights. Okay, so another thing you could try to do is you could take that size 2 filbert, maybe some white, and then just like a wash of white, and then see if we could put it along the edge of the cloud and then kind of smooth it out with quite a bit of water, and just see if that will give us kind of like a glowing effect. Maybe give us a larger brush. And it's going to be, when it dries, it's going to be pretty subtle, but you could just have that be kind of a highlight along those clouds, just like the moon is kind of lighting them up from underneath. And same thing with the moon. You could do like a little bit of a lighter value around there just for like a glow effect. Okay, so I think we'll stop it there. Let's take off the tape and see how it looks. So we'll just pull the tape down and away. Down and away from the paint. I'm getting some of the paper off there, so then I'm going to come from the other end and just carefully pull that off. And if you do rip your paper, it's okay. You can always use a little bit of glue, kind of glue it down. And if you're just painting for yourself and for the fun of it, nobody's going to notice or care. Okay, so we'll call that piece done. So this is just a way that you can paint clouds in a night sky. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a try, and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you in the next painting tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.